Good morning, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Rhonda.
Everybody.
And all the chatters. We have Human in the house. R.S. Walker, Melissa, Human. Did I ever say Human? I said Human already.
Yeah, and there's
Human can be mentioned more than once.
Yeah, are you?
Yes, because Human's like always the first one here. I think.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Bio's always the first one on my show. Human's always the one on this show.
Oh so. Yeah. We have some great partners, great team members here, and yes. It's so nice to see you this morning, Chris. We missed you yesterday.
I know, it was so frustrating. Yeah. God, I hate this whole technological thing. I couldn't access anything.
By the way,
nothing. I was freaking out.
Yeah, matter of fact, Christine called me out on her show last night for not answering my phone. I was just like, wait a second, I didn't, and then she did. But again, my phone gets droned by whoever drones my phone. Plus, I live in this tin box here, and it screws up my signal. And then I have, as you know, Rhonda, out in the studio, it switches from router to wireless to this. So my phone is chunking because it's a $50 smartphone, because I'm too cheap to spend the money and give it to Apple.
I won't either.
That was a pretty excuse wrapped up in a nice tiny little bow at the top there, Oz.
Well, yeah, but it is. It's not misspeaking. It's a damn excuse. But I gotta say, Joey wants me to get a smartphone 11, the next rendition. I'm thinking, no, I don't want to spend $600 for a smartphone, because it's kind of the antithesis of being smart.
Well, the newest are over $1,000, aren't they?
I mean, they're stupid.
Yeah, I won't spend that. I don't see how anyone can spend that kind of money.
Yeah, you remember the Razors back in the day? I loved my Motorola Razor. That was a phone that just flipped up. It was that shiny steel case. I was going, I mean, that thing lasted me like for 6 years. I mean,
I liked my Envy.
Yeah.
Like, I had an Envy, and you just had the pop-out keyboard. You slid it, and the keyboard opened. That was the easiest one to text.
Oh yeah,
yes.
That's what it had, that Q-tree keyboard or whatever the hell they call it. Yeah,
that was the best. It was like,
well, that's
the quirky, isn't it? Quirky.
Quirky. Not cutie.
I
but
loved
whatever.
It. I loved it. It was a cutie.
Yeah, my daughter,
I still have that phone somewhere.
My daughter. That was her favorite phone, because she was all about being able to do this thing, and it was like, Jesus, I can't even use chopsticks right, and you're using all these fingers and typing shit 1,000
I just use the thumbs.
Yeah,
and I can't do that on a this kind of phone with the screen thing.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I have to do one or swipe. I do swipe. And
swipe. I'm a swiper as well.
Swiping's the best, and iPhone doesn't have swipe, so screw iPhone.
Well, yeah, that's what I say to Joey, and she gets mad. I every time something doesn't work, I blame it on Apple, and boy, I get the biggest stink eye from that Chinese. Oh my God, how dare you say that about Apple? But anyway,
I'm not an Apple girl
finish.
I have never owned an Apple.
Sorry, Joey.
Yeah. Finishing off my rant about smartphones, they had the Razor back in the day. Now they've got one coming out just like a Razor, but it's got that smartphone, that flexible screen, so they can fold it, and when they open it back up. You know how much that thing starts at cost-wise?
$1,500. I don't know.
Bingo. Guessing. Yeah, it starts around $1,500 for a Razor type smartphone that the screen opens up like that. Personally, I'm waiting for them to come out with that smartphone that they have an upload. You just open your fingers up, and this virtual screen gets between your fingers, and it's just like a phone. So I'm going to wait for that. I'll probably be long dead, but
I'm actually going to wait till it gets beyond that. I'd rather not even use my hands at all. Just put it in my ear. Let me blink.
Why
once
not,
to
Rhonda?
answer.
Because I hear.
Blink twice to bring up my screen.
Oh shit!
You know,
Rhonda, I hear that they're going to make a modification to that, so you can use this and have the phone come up next to the finger here, so it'll be
this finger.
dual purpose. Yeah, instead of this, you get to do this, and I might think about it at that point. So anyway,
I would like that.
yeah,
but-
that's right. So I digress. I had all these ways. I like to open the show with you ladies with points of mutual interest on things. Smartphone's one, but the other one is I want to jump into IQ, and this is how I rate my IQ. You know, everybody, I've got this great IQ. I think it's like 102. God, that's pretty good. No, not so much. Anyway, my IQ, I can raise my IQ by doing something every morning. Do you know what that is?
Can we really talk about it on air?
Yeah, it's not. It's
Good one, Rhonda.
yeah, Rhonda, come on, stop it. It's not masturbation, okay? Because if that were the case, I'd have an IQ over 200. No, my IQ, it's easy. I go from 91 right here. Now I'm at 96 for my IQ. Now I go all the way up to 120. This is my 120 IQ right here. And besides, it makes me cool at the same time. So, but today I feel like I'm about a 92 on my IQ. So I'm going to go back down to 92. But that's how we do our IQs here at my house. Anyway.
So that's how we all know if we're getting the smart Oz in front of us or the one that's just.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
the
know your
average
level.
dumb shit. Matter of fact, Chris, I think you mentioned that at least in a green room the other day about how IQ improves by 10 points when you put on glasses, or was that Shanda? Maybe that was Shanda.
That had to be Shanda.
Yeah, it was Shanda. So
Oz, you're getting too many of us women surrounding you.
yeah, well, you're all.
I know you can't keep track of us
No, I
anymore.
can't.
Shame on you.
I'm calling the blondes and messing up their names. And
I was going to say he is kind of leaning more towards the blondes.
Yeah,
I am getting kind of overpowered by the blondes in our realm now.
well, you know, it's not really
So,
fair.
I'm not blonde. I'm gray.
Yeah,
So-
and so Shanda. So Shanda. So
beautiful. That's right. That's true.
Yeah, Shanda's gray too, but she's the serious blonde. Like Christine's every bit as serious as Shanda, but Shanda got that moniker first. Neener, neener, neener. Hey.
My glasses change my temperament. So, like, these are my serious glasses, and then I have my other ones. These ones are my don't bullshit me glasses. and then I have the other ones that are like, okay, this is my humble. I have several pair, but
yeah, I'm
you are the ones I wear the
them.
most.
It's just haven't been back in.
Well,
here.
you're
Healthcare.
maybe we should have an IQ Friday, and everybody brings their glasses that reflect their IQ, or at least their personality.
I don't know what I don't think I've ever had my IQ tested officially.
Well, they've had all these
I
IQ
can remember.
tests online you can take them or leave them. I think the best one I ever had, the one I want to own, was 124, which is a little bit above normal, but I think it was based on pop culture IQ, so that wasn't really an IQ test.
I don't know how much credence I put into those because they said I had a 142.
And
so
no,
I don't think so.
I am genius status in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own test.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm genius. I'm genius too. If I can just stay out of the discussion, I'm a real genius.
I'm a genius in my own mind. By the way, Shonda has joined us in the chat. Pat's Batman fan and Jilly Love and Schultzy.
Hi guys.
Pat.
What's up?
The accidental activist. We are going to have one hell of a knockdown, drag out show tonight. I'm getting the feeling of, because Shanda is bringing in her human Molotov cocktail by the name of Oz to join her tonight. So that should
Nice.
be.
What time is that? I mean, it's hard for me to watch shows during the week at night.
I know, it's tough, and this is a late one. This is 8 p.m. Pacific time, so it's going to be, 9 p.m. your time?
No, 7.
7. No. 8 p.m. Pacific.
Wait, no, yeah, that would be 9. Never mind.
9 your time. So we have phone.
I get east and west.
Yeah, we got phone banking on Thursday nights, and Shanda was nice enough to kick it an hour back for phone banking because that's freaking important. We might mention that a little later. So let's get on. I mean,
wait. Shonda says she's done an IQ test. Thought that made me even smarter. You can cheat the IQ test.
She did what Melissa said. She said she did test like at a genius level when she was little. Then she went to school and that
lowered her IQ.
Oh my God,
It does.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all schooling is
that's
brain
also,
training,
yeah.
brainwashing
Yeah.
bullshit.
That's the dumbing down of America starts with school. What?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, the training your brain to respect authority.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
school is.
Yeah, yeah. Let's. Okay, we've had a lot of fun so far. I think I just don't want to even go to the news, but we have to.
We have to. Damn it. Here we go.
Here
we go.
Here we go. Here
Ugly
we go.
stuff.
Damn it! And of course, our favorite topic, right, Rhonda? Joe Biden.
No,
Ew.
I'm so done.
Oh,
I'm so done with Biden.
We're more like-
If anybody even can tell.
I'm done with Biden.
What? Stop.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. We have to. We have to. He's what is he? I don't know what he's running for president. He's the ordained one. Anyway,
That's what I heard.
I gotta say, I saw this, and this confirmed my feeling about how I'm not going to vote in November. So let me play this, guys, and then we'll chew it up a little bit.
Of over 40 years, and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record.
Yeah.
The fact is that some areas that I think, for example, I think healthcare is a right, not a privilege. I do not support Medicare for all. I will not support Medicare for all, but I do support making sure that Obamacare is around with a public option for those who can't afford, those who qualify for Medicaid and they don't get in their state, they would be able to be automatically be enrolled in the public option of Medicare. But I do not support a forgiving debt loan for every single solitary person, no matter where you went to school. But I do support the idea, if in fact you have a student debt as a consequence of going to a public university and your income is under $125,000, it should be forgiven. I do believe that anyone going to school that in fact goes to a public university and or a community college, they should be able to go for free if income is under $125,000.
Yeah, let me paraphrase for you. You know all those good ideas from Bernie that he was running on in the primary? I want to take those ideas and make them bad, and then I'm for that. Thank you, Joe. So let's means test everything away as much as we possibly can. Let's not do Medicare for all. He says he believes healthcare is right, and then he says, but I'm not for Medicare for all. Well,
So did he kind of just take on, isn't that what he's saying is kind of how Warren left hers at? Like, I want Medicare for all, but now, well, no, this option thing's better. We want free college. No, wait, public college if you make under 125. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a jerk.
Yeah.
And Melissa says, we have looked at your record, which is exactly what I said
Well,
when
that's
I
why we have
first
no
watched it.
confidence in him.
Yeah, and he keeps
Exactly.
doubling down on his crime bill record. Huh?
Well, what gets me and what scares me the most
Crime bill is horrible.
is the Social Security piece, because it is gonna be it is under attack, especially after COVID. Don't tell me that they're not gonna try to take all of that, right?
Yeah.
And he, again, receipts, video proves it. He's been on the floor advocating that, yeah, everything is on the table. He would let it go.
Yeah.
People should be, especially older people who apparently are his voters, should be scared out of their mind about him being our Democratic nominee.
Yeah. I mean, I lost my shit literally when I saw Obama put Social Security on the table, the grand bargain. Remember, folks? So if there's any Obama apologists in here, please, I don't think there are. Come on, just bring it on. Bring it on, because I had never thought the day when I would see a supposedly Democratic official, leader, president put Social Security on the table. Started with Clinton. He was getting ready to make a dealy wheelie with Nudie Booty to cut up Social Security and privatize it, and then Obama resurrected that with a grand bargain. So, Mr. Obama, who is basically responsible for elevating Joe Biden to be the ordained one for the Democratic nominee, not a nice guy. I don't want to get too hung up on Joe Biden, but some of the things that we're thinking about out there in the not so real world is they're talking about replacing Joe Biden at convention with with Andrew Cuomo, the likes of Andrew Cuomo, and I'm sure there's some other ones. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but how I'm segueing into this is kind of shit you have in news today. MSNBC and CNN, this is what they consider news.
Everybody at home. A very valuable object. There's only one company in the entire country that makes these up in Maine. All right, here's the swab. Is it true that this was the swab that the nurse was actually using on you, and that at first it went into your nose and disappeared, so that in scale, this was the actual swab that was being used to fit up that double-barrel shotgun that you have mounted on the front of your pretty face?
Important stuff there. MSNBC, of course, been too busy going full govern me daddy, waxing poetic.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
That's news.
Yeah, well, I think, they're trying to make their news entertaining like we do too. Now, if we did something with the swabs like that, I'd probably be laughing at you or myself for doing it. But we are not MSNBS or CNN or a professional news organization, and I know they have to bring it up. But I believe that came up. This is this incestuous relationship that we have in our news media when you have the Cuomo brothers on there trying to entertain, and which brings me to this. The title was MSNBC, CNN trying to cover for catastrophic Cuomo mistake. And Crystal's too kind here because I think anybody with half of a brain might have rethought this decision. So let's watch this clip. If I can get it started. Yellow laws.
Explosive report about political corruption and how hero Governor Andrew Cuomo may have fueled an explosion of coronavirus cases in New York nursing homes. Subscribe, by the way, to David's Substack. He is doing phenomenal work over there. All right, so you may already know that up until just the past couple of weeks, Cuomo had actually mandated that nursing homes take recovering COVID patients back in with predictably disastrous results for the residents of those nursing homes. An outrageously bad decision, which shockingly, his brother Chris just hasn't found the time to ask him about across many, many, many interviews. But Sirota's reporting reveals even more than that. So here's essentially what happened. Back in 2018, while Cuomo was facing a primary challenge in his re-election thanks to his habit and obsession with destroying progressives, he got a very helpful and very large contribution into an allied committee that was supporting his campaign. It was over $1 million, and it came from a lobbying group representing hospitals, some of which own nursing homes. Now, what did they get in exchange for that big election year investment? Well, Sirota writes, less than 2 years after that flood of cash from the Greater New York Hospital Association, Cuomo signed legislation last month quietly shielding hospital and nursing home executives from the threat of lawsuits stemming from the coronavirus outbreak. The provision, inserted into an annual budget bill by Cuomo's aides, created one of the nation's most explicit immunity protections for healthcare industry officials, according to legal experts. Now, this lobbying group that gave Cuomo that big contribution, by the way, readily admits that they aggressively pushed for this exact immunity provision. This turns out to matter quite a lot and in a really terrible way. According to a report touted by Democratic opponents of that immunity provision, an overwhelming 76% of total nursing home deaths come from states that have granted them similar legal immunity. And make no mistake about it, the story of COVID death has disproportionately been a story of nursing homes. One analysis found that a full 43% of coronavirus deaths came from nursing homes, and it's entirely possible, by the way, that those numbers are undercounted. Cuomo's push to shield executives from liability, according to the data, contributed to those dire numbers. In fact, corporate liability shield of the sort touted by Mitch McConnell in broad form or implemented here by Cuomo in this specific nursing home form leads to exactly the sort of irresponsible corner-cutting corporate negligence that fuels coronavirus outbreaks and death.
She was too nice. You're right.
Chris, your thoughts? You're shaking your head.
It's the same shit over and over. I mean, protect corporations, fuck the people. Protect corporations, fuck the people. It's just like, just put it on a record and play it over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, this is why it's down to pitchforks and torches and getting out there. Politics isn't going to save us. I mean, they're just a bunch of scamming, lying piece of shit, money grubbing bastards. That's what they are. Every single I can't think of one politician right now that doesn't even hit me that way. Even Bernie Sanders has been such a huge disappointment, clamoring to the Democratic Party and protecting them and not standing up for the people who supported him. So I'm just blown away. AOC hasn't been that great of a leader either. She's just doing the same thing. I mean, she hasn't stood up to Pelosi at all. It's just crap, and I'm tired of it. It's like, this is why I hate politics so much, because you can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and it's all just nothing we have any control over. You can vote any way you want. It doesn't matter. It's already predetermined. It's already, there. We're just slaves to the corporations. We're consumers. We're born to be consumers. They want to keep us consumers. They don't give a shit about us. They don't give a shit about one single life.
Yeah. Rhonda, I
Set
know.
their own.
I know.
I
you-
agree.
you-
I
oh.
mean, it's hard. I know that you're not into the politics side as much as we are, or I have been, and it is frustrating. We see possibilities of ways, and then what the fuck?
And we're undermined.
Right. Well, right. And so, if we need to stop looking for a savior, for a leader, appreciate those who do bring issues to the forefront for us, but we got to really start believing in ourselves, each other, and the movement that is ready to break down this two-party duopoly. So, I mean, we see eye to eye with that. We don't believe in the system as it is either. There's people trying to work within to try to take over. There's people working on the outside to try to topple. I mean, but we got to believe in ourselves. We can't just be waiting around for somebody to do it, as we saw the best chance we've had so far. Look what mainstream media, look what the money and the power and the corruption has done, and is by design. They want us to feel disheartened a bit. They want us to give up. They want us just to put the blankets back over our heads and say, fine, whatever, just whatever. I can't do shit about it anyway. But we can't.
I'm not saying don't do shit. I'm just saying that the political system isn't going to function because we have the duopoly that's in control, and they cheat. I just got frozen, but they cheat.
They cheat.
They do cheat.
You mean when Obama called on everybody to drop out and circle the wagons against Uncle Joe? Is that cheating?
Or for Uncle Joe?
Well, I don't necessarily call that cheating. It's strategy.
Yeah.
But there is cheating.
There is major cheating. I just don't want that to be lumped into cheating. That's strategy. That's just being, assholes because they want anybody but.
Yeah. After throwing all those candidates out there and nobody wanted any to do with any of them.
Bernie did not stand up for us in that circumstance.
No,
he didn't fight at all at the end. He's just like, oh, well, endorse Biden. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
that
was really highly disappointing, and I lost a lot of respect for him.
I think that's the turmoil now. I'm seeing it in many of our social media groups and outside of social media, as little as we get, is that people are torn. Like I've got groups that are still, placing Bernie on this pedestal. I love Bernie. We'll never stop loving Bernie. It's not about Bernie. It's about the issues. Damn it. And again, I don't go after Bernie. I could go after Bernie and just rip him to shreds, but if it's a choice between going after Bernie for what he did by bending the knee and Barack Obama, what he pulled as president of the United States, or Clinton, Bush, that's clearly Bernie's not even in the picture anymore. Thank you, Bernie, for bringing this to surface and elevating it to where it is. But Clinton and Obama and George Bush and now Trump, they all are the same criminal cabal club. I don't care. You guys can say, oh, Oz, you're full of shit. Bullshit. Yeah, I know Trump. We know what Trump is. How do you think we got fucking Trump? Because of Clinton, because of Bush, because of Obama and their policies. That's how we got Trump, and we can argue till the day is done, but that debate is over. I just wanted to say one last thing about Cuomo. That $1 million they dropped on him, that wasn't for the pandemic or, the liability thing, which is great. That's an extra benefits of that. That was to keep single-payer universal health care out of the discussion, out of the way, totally against them. Keep pushing this ACA, Affordable Care Act bullshit that Obama brought into the picture, the for-profit medical insurance scam that is screwing us today. And with now it's what? Suzanne Murphy was giving us the stats on unemployment, 41 million people now. Businesses are going away. Employer-based health care is going bye-bye. I'm going to say again.
You see that Boeing here in Washington is laying off 10,000 people? Not just laying off, I'm sorry.
Gone.
They're just done. They're fired.
Done.
They're done.
They're done. J.C. Penney's
getting rid of 10,000 jobs, just like that.
J.C. Penney's 3,000
Yep.
done, and that's just 3,000. What about 3,000 stores, right? That's it. 3,300 stores. That's just the stores. Multiply that by the number of employees, whether it's 50 or 100. Multiply that by the contract, the janitors, the uniform people, all that. Multiply that. So Boeing, J.C. Penney's. I'm thinking. And now the housing market, I don't even want to get into that. That's going to be a big discussion. I want to bring somebody that's involved in the housing market. Jimmy's got Dylan Radigan, which, is great. We've got Chris Hedges. We've got all these people who are actually speaking truth to power. By the way, Chris Hedges, thanks for running in the Green Party ticket in
just
New
saw
Jersey.
that. Woo,
Yeah. I mean, somebody that's got a brain actually running for office and some moral ethic behind him. So anyway, it's all about what you said, Christine. It's who you pay and what they're going to do for you. It has nothing to do with your vote. Do I say your vote doesn't matter? Well, yeah, probably. But where your vote might matter the most is, number one, how you're going to vote for president. That's how you vote, not who, how. And the down-ticket ballot races. Those are a little bit harder. If it's overwhelming, I still buy into that idea of overwhelm the vote and you're going to win. On the down-ticket ballot, but then again, people say, well, what about Tim Canova and Debbie Wasserman Schultz? I believe those are special.
There was cheating. There was election fraud.
Big time.
So there's that.
Fraction magic, and we had that with Tambourine's race up here. They percentile all these, they say, oh, they would get about this much, so we can cover up the rigging, the voter rigging, the election rigging, not the voter fraud. It's election fraud. It's not voter fraud.
Yeah, it's election fraud, not voter fraud,
We've
which the Republicans cry voter fraud all the time, but that's not a big issue. It's the election fraud. That's the big issue. And we just need to constantly drill that into people's brains because the Republicans are kind of dumb that way. They just buy into this people voting twice and crap, and that rarely ever happens. It's the ballots being destroyed before they're counted. It's the media pushing one candidate over another. It's numbers being switched in the voting machines. That's where all that happens.
Oh yeah, and voting machines and obscan counters for mail-in ballots. It's all that's where the rig.
No accountability.
Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing. No chain of ownership or anything on that shit. They just here are the drives from the election, and here are the drives we want you to use. Here are the thumb drives.
Okay. There was one comment that I just have to kind of address. It was like, why do they, why would they want to keep us poor? So because we can't consume as much. And I would just like to say, I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think it's because they want to break you down. So you'll go to work and accept less money and you'll go into the fields they want you. You'll be desperate to go into the fields for less money that are physically hard, that are mundane, the jobs that people aren't willing to really accept when they're doing well. Then they don't have those menial workers to do their service jobs. So I think that's what their goal is. They're fine right now in the long run. We're not. So they want to make us more desperate to go do those things.
And keep us too busy to come together. If
we work 3-4 jobs.
If we're comfortable, we can coalesce more, right?
And
we may be free-thinking more. We may want more. We may... more. Don't have to pay them more.
That's what my thinking is. And I know there's a point where there's too many poor people, but I mean, the rich will be fine. They're fine.
Oh yeah, they're way
and
fine.
they can just get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper labor.
Christine, how dare you say that the rich will be fine? You're the one that says we're all going to die, right?
We are. Well, not in the long run, the rich aren't going to be fine. But
they aren't
for now, they're fine.
And the long run's getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yes,
hey,
that's another story to go to my channel.
Yeah, go see The Natural Progressive. She's wonderful. And she will not only depress you, but she'll make you laugh and cheer you up, too, at the same time.
Yeah, laugh, cry. We go through all the spectrum.
All
scream.
Yeah,
we go through it all.
Scream.
So.
Yeah, you sure did a good scream job last night. I loved it. Hey, special shout out to one of the people who joined us today, Chad Wilson, Green Party presidential candidate. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
There's also
he said
Al Walski is here too. I didn't say hi to him.
Al.
Bill Roberts.
Bill, yeah.
Chili Love. I don't think I said that out loud.
Yeah,
maybe I did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chad
I always forget.
Chad wants to point out that Chris. Something happened, I guess, that I haven't caught yet. I'm really slow on my news today. Bang, bang. That Chris is not running now, from what I hear, because of because of RT being registered foreign, conflict of interest. Well, that makes sense, but I still don't think that they can use that as a crux to keep him from running. That has to be a personal choice.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Well, they're going to use everything on.
Yeah, they're going to be throwing Russia all around him. Disgusting. I'm hoping that he still pushes through. That shouldn't stop him.
No, I mean that's just.
I was really excited about.
Yeah, and they're gonna just like Obama did. They gut us, when we think we're getting ahead, and they'll stick the knife right in our guts and they'll gut us wide open with whatever hope and change we are actually bringing. Where thank you but no thanks, Barack. You gave us about as much hope and change as a rat turd in a sewer. So, boy, that was harsh. Let's
right though.
Yeah. Let's finish. Let's finish the politics.
Let's get to the torches and the
let's get to the torches.
That.
Yeah, that's a good segue, Chris. Let's get we're done with politics per se in this respect today. We had some issues yesterday in Minneapolis and Los Angeles with riots. And Rhonda, tell us about the BLM riot. Not riots. What are they? They're demonstrations. Protests. Yeah. In LA. That's a weekly thing, right?
Yeah, every week in LA they go and protest because their attorney, their DA, I believe, female, doesn't act on, of course, any police brutality or violence within the community. So they've been every week they show up and they protest what's going on there. Of course, yesterday was a normal protest day, but with what's happening with
George Floyd.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
It's okay.
With him, more people showed up too yesterday, and a
little bit more
people
pissed off.
Were upset and pissed, and protests are starting to happen around the country. Fiorella and Pasta, and all of them were there. And I was able to watch a lot of the feeds because of that. So thank you again, guys, for being our eyes and ears on the ground. And I'll let you kind of go from there. I think you're getting ready to.
I just want to.
From it.
Yeah. The when we see things on all these social media platforms, the way that Dandy Donnie's trying to put the kibosh on free speech and social media by shuttering Twitter and things like that because of the blue check marks and stuff. We have to be exceptionally very good at doing our investigative journalism from whether we're at home or out on the streets. So we're going to have an example here, and we're going to discuss a little bit. This is the main topic tonight, or today. Is it tonight or is it today? It's today. It's today. There was an incident at the Los Angeles protest where it appeared that a police officer run down or hit and run one of the protesters. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll get into it.
Whoa! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Holy shit, Fee. Call the police, Fee. Oh, never mind.
Hey, could you guys hear me that? Thank you. Oh, sorry, right behind you. Right behind your foot. Thank you. Appreciate you. Are you serious? Oh my God! I can't.
Someone call 911! Call 911!
I can't show that, you guys. I'm
Breathing.
Okay. What did you guys get from that? It looked like the protester got hit by a police car at first glance, right?
Right. Looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, they can definitely be deceiving. The
Go lay down, Doug.
the time frame that this all happened, there were reports of a lot of how this happened, everything happened, and what we have coming up in the next clip, we have a different angle of the camera. Now you'll notice that this police car that is in the first spot, you see you see this. Let me get it over here. See the guy with the orange, or the person with the orange backpack, the little sack pack on his back there, their back. Watch that one, because that's the one that was apparently, or people think, got hit by the officer's vehicle. But just keep an eye on this for a minute. There he's walking around there. Okay, seen a lot of people do this. Jumped on the hood of the car, right? And this is the different angle. Okay, then he leaped off before he got going, and the face planted into the ground. Oop, I hope he didn't get hurt too bad. Now, the other police officer's car pulled up. Okay, so the crowd didn't really see everything that happened, so a skateboard went through the back window. They were trying to get at the cops inside. Rage, everything else. Let me just run this one more time, just so we can look at it. Now you know what you're looking for. Okay, runs over, jumps on, rides it out there. Hey, okay, so that officer keeps going a little ways. Another cop pulls in, sees the downed protester. Everybody's pissed because they just think, I'm thinking that the cops just ran somebody over, so they're madder than hell. So this officer pulls away after his window gets smashed and whatever. I don't know how to parse this. How would you ladies describe this event?
Well, first, that first car the cruiser should have just stopped. You have how many people in front of you?
But he obviously didn't think the kid was hurt, because he was going so slow when he jumped off. He just kind of rolled. He couldn't have been hurt very bad. The second cop probably thought he was hurt, pulled over to try help, and then the crowd went nuts.
If you look further, though, and really watch that first car, I was watching it closer, the first cruiser, and he's, slowly going through. Again, ultimately, if people are blocking the road, maybe I'm thinking should stop. But so he's going slow, and he sees somebody jumping on his car. Did you notice right then there, as he was getting out of there, he sped up, and that's when...
Yeah, he did speed up.
Yeah, he did speed
up.
And
it flew him. Whether he was trying to jump off or not, it caused that speed, caused it to not go the way that I think that the guy thought, maybe getting off would be. So, pushing through the crowd with the car is never a good idea. But also, when somebody's on your vehicle, speeding up is probably not the best thing to do.
Yeah, and again, you can actually just fall sideways out of your chair and give yourself brain damage. So
that's true.
Not a smart thing to do on that kid's part.
But that's his fault, I think.
Yeah, it is, and we don't want to blow this out of some context or build a narrative around the event. We want to explore what actually happened from afar. We can be, armchair quarterbacks all we want, but I think that the thing that captured me the most was people being enraged at a perception that wasn't necessarily what actually happened, maybe. And so they lost their shit. They busted out the window. The cops in that one car, they could have done a couple of other things, but they didn't. And I guess due to the circumstances, pulling away slowly, getting out of that frustration, I'm going to have to say, yeah, probably the best thing to do, even though they may have been pulling over, seeing that down activist, to offer aid. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses considering what we've seen with the police departments over time. So,
after the fact, you mean what they should have done? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, before the fact, they could have avoided that, I do believe.
Yeah, before the fact, what were they doing? I don't know.
Why were the cops there if it was a peaceful protest? Was it a peaceful protest?
Yeah,
it was. I mean, it's the same. And they were on the freeway. They stopped the traffic like what they're supposed to do. That's what it's for, is disrupt the daily routines of things. It was actually very peaceful, other than people, shouting, their chants.
Well, that doesn't hurt anybody,
right? It was very peaceful.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, then the cop shouldn't have been driving through the crowd.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there was no need for that.
Context is everything.
Context is everything, and everything gets blown out of context all the time. What doesn't get blown out of context is when we have a cop with his knee on a man's throat for 7 minutes, who is handcuffed.
And saying, I can't breathe,
and
with
dies.
His hands in the pocket.
With his hands in the pocket.
Officer had his hands in the pocket, knee on this neck. Don't tell me he was in any danger. If he felt any kind of danger, his hands would not be in his fucking pocket.
So that to me is not taken out of context. I don't care if the guy was on PCP before and they tried to stun him 50 times. He was down. He was obviously immobilized. He had the cuffs on, and you do not, and I'll say this not being a police officer, but, being trained in martial arts earlier in my life, I'm not a black belt, but there are certain things, common sense, you don't do. This fucker's twisted. He has a very obtuse view of society. And that was murder. And if the courts find it otherwise, I will be shocked and disappointed and enraged. And I will also say this. If they bring up this shit, well, he's a 19-year officer and everybody makes a mistake. So judging from his record, we're going to give him 10 years.
That was not a mistake.
Has he even been charged yet?
Nobody's been charged yet.
Why?
Nobody's been charged. They've been fired. 4 have been fired, and all 4 need to be charged. The one with the knee in his neck, needs.
And the ones watching, not doing anything.
The other ones, all need to go away. That was all complacency. The guy in the front, don't do drugs. I mean, all of it was just
Don't get yourself in that situation in the first place. Be a law-abiding citizen. Wait a second.
Don't do drugs or we will kill you.
Yeah, don't do.
But what did that have to do with this guy? Was he on drugs? Was that even part of it?
No,
they were just called in because they thought he might be on something, or what it found out is somebody they thought it might be a counterfeit 20 or a wrong written check. But either way, fuck that shit. Fuck.
We had.
I think it was a bad check, is why.
Yeah,
I am cussing more today than I normally do, so apologize, guys.
That's okay. I just again and yes, Chris, it was suspect in a check or forgery issue. Suspect. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? But I don't know.
No, that doesn't apply if you're black.
No, that's only for whatever. And this brings to mind what Rhonda and I witnessed, online about a month and a half ago up in Vancouver. Was it, Rhonda? There were 4 or 5 or 6 cops. There was a distressed man who had one of those grocery baskets out by a street corner, and I think he had thrown a rock at somebody and hurt them. So all these cops showed up, and he was shouting to cops and everything. Well, the end to that one is at some point he ran at a cop, just made the motion towards him, Rhonda.
Yes,
Is that
he
right?
didn't run.
He didn't run. He just made the step to it and threw a rock at him or a stick or some debris, and
Didn't throw anything. He had a small little thing in his hand.
Well, yeah.
Lots of distance between the cops.
And there were a bunch of cops all around him, right? It was not a weapon. It was not in the sense of a combustible weapon, something that could be fired. What happened? What happened to that guy, Rhonda?
Oh, they all shot him up.
They shot him.
They shot him to
Mhm.
death. They shot him right there, and it was one of those things with Paul Newman and Robert Redford. I mean, they go out there and the whole Mexican army's on them, and the army in the movie, and they shot the living shit out of the guy, and they put slugs in him when he was down, at least 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah.
It
It was pretty bad. But Vancouver, Washington, we've had quite a few cop killings. I mean, killers. I don't know how to say it, murders in our area, and a young 16-year-old boy of color was one. Another transient man. 2 or 3 actually transients. We have problems with we have a big deaf community there, so
that's
so it's really bad.
It's tough
in Vancouver as well. So we're
tough. We have that video footage for. We're not going to show it. I just say we have it because we keep it for ourselves as a reminder of what can happen and what is happening to our people. And I'll add something here that doesn't make a damn bit of difference. This guy was not a person of color. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. It's still, they shot the living shit out of him.
They're judge, juries, and executioners, and that is the one thing we were not supposed to have on the streets.
Yeah.
We are supposed to have this judicial system that's supposed to be fair to everybody, which of course it's not. It's totally all bad. But the police officers, I mean, they are beholden to, okay, fine, you're not going to do what I say, you're dead. I mean, what the hell? Or even if they do what they say, you're dead. You smelled at me wrong, you're dead. Oh, sorry, I broke into the wrong house, you're dead. The police bashing into the wrong homes. That's happening.
And they may lose their job for killing somebody, where other people would go to prison. And all they do is lose their job.
Is a very strong word. They rarely lose their job for it.
Yeah. Well, Rhonda and I had this conversation this morning in the green room about people breaking into our house and how we would react. Well, I know how I would react. And I'm not saying that maybe it's a moral thing to do, but it's when you're frightened and you don't know what the potential harm may come to you and your family, what are you going to do? That's the question I'd ask. And I think the whole thing with this story, why I was interested in it, was because when I first saw that clip that Fiorella shot, it was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I was the same way, holy shit. But then somebody else, and this is where what I like about Twitter and the availability, one of the things I do like is you get, at least a lot of the time, not all the time, you get a different view of something. So the reporting is out there, whether the reason that person got that other view and promoted it, whether they were whatever, it was there and we could see it in real time, or not real time, but recorded, and it hadn't had time to be edited because it was like within seconds, I believe, my opinion. So we got to see it in context, and I think context in journalism is so important. We don't want to take Andrew Cuomo out of context. We want context. We want to look at his record. We don't want to take this situation where it looked like an officer or a cop or whatever you want to call him ran over an activist. We don't want to make that mistake. It's up to us to walk our fucking talk, and we've got to look at everything that we can. But the bottom line is our black sisters and brothers are being killed at an insane and sickening rate in compared to everybody else. And I'm not doing what about or comparing or keeping score. This is just wrong. And as I said yesterday, it's not just them, it's our responsibility as the citizens of this nation it's our fault if it doesn't work out or if justice is not made, and we need to be a just society. I think I've heard that somewhere in school. Let's be just, not righteous. Let's be just. So anyway, that's that. Go ahead.
Yep, that's that.
Go ahead, girls, ladies. I have one more clip from something that stemmed yesterday. I am going to run it about context, how things are context. Do you guys want to?
Yeah, let's move on.
Move on.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's move on. I think everyone is pretty much on the same page with that one. And the
Yeah.
protest's good.
and here
The guy made a stupid choice,
Yeah.
and it screwed everything up, and people didn't know what was going on. So
yeah.
that's about it.
I didn't want to wear that out too much, but I really wanted to make that point. Okay, this one is looters from all this yesterday, and this is a Target. It looks like the emergency door or a receiving dock door or something. People are looting Target, so let's watch this real quick.
Move, bitch! Hey! She got a knife! Get out of here! She got a knife!
All right, ladies, what do you get?
What
out
a
of that?
hero for trying to save Target, the big corporation, from losing any money that they'd just get replaced with insurance. Yeah.
So this woman in a wheelchair decided to bring a knife because she thought it was her duty to stop these menacing neighbors from looting a Target, is what it looks like. To me, I don't understand. You know, we need another name for this one. Karen's not right.
Mega Granny?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being bad. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm, putting a
Corporate Carol.
corporate care.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
I
Protecting the corporations. You go.
yeah.
Yeah, she decided, looks like, it doesn't look like she has Target gear on, like she's an employee. So she just, to me, took it upon herself to think that it's her business to protect the Target store and stab people coming out. That's brilliant. Corporate Carol. Carol? Is that right? Carol?
Yeah, Corporate Carol.
Yeah.
Osama joined us. Hi,
Hey,
Osama.
Osama, the music man. Hey, this one, this is where context and the full story is so important. I don't think we can really come up with something here.
Were they trying to portray the people of color as being
I think
the bad guys, the white
attacking
disabled lady?
some white woman in a wheelchair? Was that the narrative that was trying
I'm
to put stuff
thinking.
there?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. I didn't vet this tweeter, the one that tweeted this, but I got a bad feeling that they were trying to do that, promote the disabled white woman, and all these black people are trying to kill her or something. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't.
They obviously were walking right by her, not trying to hurt her in any way. But they were looting the Target, which, I don't condone stealing, but when people are desperate, they do desperate things.
Yeah, take advantage of situations.
And corporations have taken everything from us. Yeah. So, and they're living high on the hog off of our tax money that keeps getting funneled up to them.
And
so
think of this as you pay some people, anarchists come in and take advantage of situations too. That's always something that's been prevalent. What do you think, Rhonda?
Right, and I don't want us to lump all anarchists together, because
there's good things and bad things, isn't there? So.
Right.
Most anarchists are very peaceful. They just believe in living in small communities and not having governments control you. Yeah. So anarchy isn't a bad thing at all. And I don't think violence and things like that represent anarchy very well.
Social conditioning again. Anarchists bad no matter what. Bullshit.
Yeah. Right. I just didn't want to paint that, and I think what you're talking about is there's paid bad actors
Yes,
that
paid
you
bad
know,
actors, which
go
have
go
been, yeah.
into a movement of sorts to disrupt it, to make that movement look bad, or give optics that they could use to
Sure.
make that movement look bad. I'm not saying that the community didn't go in and loot. You know, again, look in our history. This is part of when people are at their brink, when they have nothing else to go for, when you're feeling like that you could die the very next day or the very next minute, which these people of color absolutely feel. Don't tell me they don't. They are desperate. They want to stay alive. They're fighting an enemy in this instance in blue. And it's not in one-off incidents. This is over and over again in our history. Our police force was born out of slavery. It's to keep the people of color in line. And we just got to abolish it. We've got to renew. I want to see like the Black Panther Party really resurfacing and policing the neighborhoods, taking care of their own, and getting people from the outside of the community. And again, in most of these communities, a lot of the police officers live outside of the actual community they're policing. So we got to get back to where community is policing itself. It's definitely safer, and you'll most likely live longer. That way.
I guess this lady, I just want to ask her, what gives you license to do what you just did?
Right.
What gives you license to do that? And again, and some of the comments I saw were, okay, so billionaires are and these corporate oligarchs just got the biggest payoff in history by our government taking advantage of the pandemic and giving them $5 trillion. We did the math.
It wasn't a payoff. They looted us. That's where we need to put the word. That's what looting is.
Yeah, it was looting, and they got they're paying. Our Congress did this, and I'm thinking I'm stuck on payoff because of the donor class, but looted our government. I apologize for that. Rhonda, exactly so. And so they are watching us rip each other apart because of some garbage at Target, and social conditioning has made this woman think like whatever. So yeah, two wrongs don't make a right, but come on, give me a damn break, you morons. Really? I mean,
yeah, but that is one little wrong compared to trying to kill somebody. So yeah, that's two different things. It's like I said before the show, it's like taking a knife to a spoon fight. That's ridiculous and way overreaction, especially to protect a corporation.
What's a knife? What's a knife to a spoon fight? I think you got that wrong. You mean a knife to a gunfight?
No, that's a
spoon
knife
fight.
To a spoon to a knife fight, but backwards.
Okay, I like that. I like that. That was good.
Oh no, I've heard it before. Oh, okay. I know there's a knife to a gunfight, but
okay, knife to.
But the spoon isn't gonna kill anybody.
I used to play with spoons when I was a kid. I'd bounce them on my knee and play spoons.
Oh yeah, put a rubber band on two of them, and then
that was
make
fun.
a little instrument out of them.
Anyway,
I used to do that.
Been a great show today, ladies. Thank you, Christine.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna duck out right when you start the movie.
Yeah, that's fine.
The music, because I got to.
Yeah,
I gotta get to my garden.
I know, it's gardening time. Everybody should be going there. Just quick out, Accidental Activist tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Check out Shonda. I'll have to watch it in the replay.
Yeah, Shonda's going to be on tonight, and she's going to bring me on, and I'm going to make a fool of myself again. But anyway.
Oh, you never make a fool of yourself. Silly.
And we got the Germans on set. We got Progressive Washington on Friday, right, Rhonda?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think
2:00. There will be Tyler will be interviewing David again, and Mariana Everson will be on
Saturday.
So David Zuckerman. Sorry, I should have said his last name.
Zuckerman.
Mariana Everson, Georgia Davenport, and Catherine Lewandowski. So it's going to be a very packed, fun, amazing talk on Friday.
Okay, Friday, and that's going to be at what time again?
2:00.
Okay, 2:00. And,
awesome. Be there, be square. Melissa had a great joke. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
She said maybe Target need a name change.
Wow.
Wait,
Okay.
that
see,
was just too good.
No,
I had to read that.
you know,
Melissa?
that
Yes.
was Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Melissa, we didn't do a Wipey Award today, but you just drew it right in. Melissa H. with the Wipey Award for today, sponsored by the New York Slimes in the honor of the Izzies, Razzies, Googles, and whatever. Melissa, you get the Wipey Award for today. You're in such good company. Thank you for that one. That was wonderful.
That was fabulous.
Yeah, that was great. We've got In the Dark. This is a TV series, and I think it's on the CW. This has got Keston John, Pat Mattfeld, and Rich Sommer. This is about a gal who's blind, and one of her best friends who actually saved her life, a young black gentleman, was murdered. But the cops wouldn't do anything about it. So she, being blind, did everything she could to find her murderer and expose it. And it's an ongoing series on the CW. So let me kick this over real quick. See if it'll play.
Hi, guys.
Bye. We're going to have a commercial here, I'm afraid.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Oz.
In the
Thank you,
dark.
Rhonda.
Okay, here we go. I think
I
this
was
is it.
diagnosed with a rare medical condition, so I lost my vision completely when I was 14.
What's it like?
Imagine if you could only judge people by their personalities.
I wouldn't like anyone.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was told I had a funny way.
Why don't you look blind?
Same reason you probably don't look stupid.
I have a daughter.
Can you not do that?
I'm just trying to help
I
you.
don't need your help.
She's rude,
What do you want?
selfish, sarcastic.
I hate when dudes order for me. I think whoever started that trend should be punched in the nuts.
But under all that, she's, well, that.
Being lonely makes you special.
Does it look like I have my life together?
So makes you lonely too.
It's okay to like someone.
How does it feel to not care about anyone but yourself?
I don't care about myself. I was every adoptive parent's dream.
You're exactly what we wanted.
It's my favorite view in all of Chicago.
I'm blind, you idiot.
I got to tell you, that show... Shut up. That show is fun. It's intriguing. It's well acted. It's obviously a lot of identity stuff going on, but the overall message is really good. And it's like The Good Girls. I mean, there's some stuff on there that really is not badly written TV, like just about every damn thing we get these days. So In the Dark, CW, I think is it Thursday nights maybe? But this is the second season. It's one of those kind of sleeper things, and I like the premise. Have you seen it, Rhonda?
No, I have not. I'll put it on my list. Where did you say you found?
CW. I think it's on Hulu. You've got Hulu. We watch Hulu, and again,
I've got Hulu. I don't do the live Hulu, so some shows I don't get.
I don't
till,
do
like,
live either. I can't afford it. I'm like broke, man. But yeah, if not, CW has a free app too. You can get it through there. So In the Dark, it's in this time of pandemic, we really find out how shitty television entertainment really is. So I don't get that much, but I do have my picks. And again, anybody that wants to offer some picks, please. We're going to go out today with a song. And this is another cover. This is White Flag by Dido. And I know it's kind of a love song sort of thing, but I'm going to try and give you the context which I'm taking this song. I love what I was raised to believe my country was. I love what I was raised to believe that our law enforcement and our military was supposedly to be. But what I don't love is what they actually are. And it breaks my goddamn heart that we've come to this point. So in this love song, I'm going to say that I'm going to go down with the ship of wanting our society to be better, to be a just society, to give a shit about things that are actually what we were raised as kids to believe in, health, happiness, the pursuit of happiness, and what we should have. So that's the context that I'm taking this song into, because some of you might say, well, what are you playing that for? Well, I use metaphor a lot. I use pop culture a lot. I'm crazy. What do you expect? I'm nuts. I mean, who's going to do this? And I'm dragging Rhonda with me. So thank you, Rhonda. And this is White Flag Dido by Holly Kirby. And I know she did this because she was having a rough time. So we're having a rough time seeing the rampant murder of our black sisters and brothers and people of color, and these wars and this pandemic and the corruption and everything. I'm sorry. White Flag by Dido. Thank you, everybody, for another knockout show. Thank you for Christine Lund, the Natural Progressive. Check her out on the Natural Progressive channel. Rhonda, you want to say goodbye?
Thank you all for joining us yet again. And thank you, Oz, for doing all the things behind the curtains. And if you'd like to see these keep going, don't forget to throw a little dollar here, a dollar there. We'd be very much appreciative. And have a fabulous day.
Fabulous. And we had 2 Rhondas in there for a second because I missed the gag. Have a great day, everybody. This is really a beautifully done version of Dido, because I've always liked Dido. I never got caught up to her because I couldn't figure out what the name meant. But this is White Flag. Very well done, I think, in my opinion. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Thank you.
I shouldn't still love you or tell you that. But if I didn't say it, well, I'd still have felt it. Where's the sense in that? I promise I'm not trying to make your life harder or return to where we were. Go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love and always will be. I know I left too much mess and destruction to come back again. I cause nothing but trouble. I understand if you can't talk to me again. And if you live by the rules of it's over, then I'm sure that that makes sense. But I will go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love and always will be. And when we meet, which I'm sure we will, all that was there will be there still. I'll let it pass and hold my tongue, and you will think I've moved on now. I will go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love and always will be. Oh, I will go down with this ship, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love and always will be. I'm in love and always will be.